Hello, welcome to another episode of Reseller Information Network. Guys, we are back in full force. Got a full panel with us here today. And man, we're going to be talking about something we oftentimes do mention. We're going to be talking about adapting, adjust and adapt. What does that look like in practical terms? We're each going to share a little bit about that coming up. Hey, we do appreciate each and every one of you guys who have been supporting the channel. All you channel members, you guys deserve a huge shout out, particularly Sir Walter Tilton. I know he actually called me the other day. He said, "Hey, you didn't have to mention my name, but yes, we do, Walter. Yep. We have to mention your name because as a result of Mr. Walter, most of you folks that are here as channel members have free channel membership due to Walter. So if you get a chance, shoot him a hello and thank you. We do appreciate all you guys for being a part. I'll share this comment from Walter. It says, dudes, thank you so much for the shout out. Although it's not needed, I love watching your show. I've bought epic stuff from you all. Tim sold me amazing glass items I use for Christmas presents. These ladies use them in the house. Still, Commonwealth sold veteran items to him. They were hits with the other vets. Eric, Leroy, and Chris sold outstanding items, vintage naval hats, different decommissioned ships. Y'all have the best classic top rate items around. Any new buyers, do not hesitate on great items, I promise.
There we go.
So thank you, Walter, for all that. There's a few comments about the Mr. Sparky contest still going on. Guys, you guys got a whole month to check out Mr. Sparky. Get your own, make it your own, and see if you can't win some prizes. And, huge support, not just for Leroy, but St. Jude's. So what a great cause to do and be a part of that. We also have several comments about the Commons Marketplace that we've all been having success in. We'll give you some more details about that throughout the show. So, hey, let's go ahead and jump in. We've talked about some things over the past few weeks. For those of you guys don't know, there's been some changes among the Reseller Information Network, both in our personal lives and also for our professional lives. We have been introduced to this new marketplace. We had Kevin on. We spoke about Commons Marketplace, and we'll start out with Cernoch and let him talk a little bit about how his reseller journey has been changing with this new feature available.
Yeah, so I was thinking of something when we were talking. Remember we did a video about kind of like the pseudo summer slowdown, and ways to, kind of bounce around that. And, I've talked about, hey, I'm going out to flea markets, selling flea markets on the weekend. I'll tell you what, an extra $200, $300, $400 on the weekend, not bad. Helps the pocket. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, it's like, hey, are you doing this like, it must take up your whole day to do that, bro. I can get back into town by 2:00 to do baseball practice. That's how it's been.
And have $200 to $300 in your pocket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. $200 to $300. You get out there, set up at 7. You're done by noon with $200 to $300 in your pocket. I'll take that. Do a Saturday, Sunday. Hey, you got close to maybe $500, $600, $700 in your pocket. While eBay's coming in, while all these other things are coming in. So that's been really good for me. And then with shopcommons.net, Commonwealth Picker, Kevin, Commonwealth Picker, put this together, and he had my ear a little bit, and I said, hey, let's this and this, let's set it up this way, and we made he made it happen. And I tell you what, I mean, yesterday I did probably $300 in sales just on Commons. Today I'm at $120 already. So these are good things that that we're making money outside of the traditional ways when it's not taking up a lot of time for those, like a district lot, I can sell 20 hats. I'm laying out 4 hats. Boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, take a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, picture. I do that 5 times, go into Photoroom, jazz it up a little bit, do a minute video, hey, boom, 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 boom. And it's pictures, title, little description, price, shipping, tag it, list it. Where instead of selling 1 or 2 items, because y'all know me, y'all can look behind me. I've got stuff packed in my room, but it's someone told me a long time ago, if you're going to eat like an elephant, you got to poop like an elephant. And this is finally a way for me to kind of poop like an elephant. I was thinking about the other day, I'm like, we adapted to Whatnot, and then Whatnot kind of, so we pulled back, refocused back on eBay, did this and that. We opened up one-stop shop. We still got that going. So there's a lot of different things. Did the flea market. Now we're doing commons, but never looking away from, what's making us money. Now, hey, I'm gonna go back to eBay. I've got I've been listing on eBay. I've got retail arbitrage items. I've got boots I'm not gonna wholesale. I've got when you find Red Wing boots, at your thrift, I can clean those up and sell them for $100. So that's easy. So that's not going away, but it's nice to add these little additions to it. Because here's the thing. I'm not saying, oh man, if you're gonna wholesale or just everything's the flea market. No, but it's these little added additions that don't take much of your time to do. Like you could spend an hour if you really focus. You could spend an hour on a whole, and do 5 wholesale lots. Yeah. And I mean, how much is that? $200, $300, $400. And with Shop Commons, it's hot right now. Kevin's really promoting it. I've been promoting it on my Instagram and on my other socials. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, the fire is hot. I'm gonna stick my iron in it. Okay, for right now. Now, if it cools off, hey, guess what? eBay didn't go anywhere. We're still listed on eBay. Poshmark didn't go anywhere. I'm still sharing and all that stuff and selling. Yesterday I had 3 Poshmark sales. So it's all these, boom, 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 coming from everywhere, coalescing into a way to defeat that summer slowdown. And I think I've done a really good job of it this year, from just what I'm doing. So I think that's the way I've adapted, and I think if there's something else that comes along and might try it, if it works, hey, put a little effort into that. So like I said, it's a good way to get money, get income from different areas. Because here's the thing, if it's solely on eBay and your eBay's slow, then it's like, so like I said, I've got different income streams coming in, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think too, like just like you said, I mean, there's other opportunities out there. It's crazy not to even look. Sometimes like people are, I mean, there's a difference between being focused and being stubborn, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a difference in those two. Because sometimes like people are like, well, this is my business model. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to do that. Well, that's good. But there's a lot of roads that have a lot of different lanes that take you to the same.
Take for instance, doing the pop-up in Silver Spring, Maryland for the vintage event.
Yeah.
Okay. I made $2,000. I'm not gonna lie, I made $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Why wouldn't I do that? If I'm stubborn, I ain't going to Silver. That's near DC. That's scary. Come on. I was selling camouflage pants for $25 to $35 a piece. Do the math. And I almost sold out of them. I probably brought 30 pairs. I think I had 4 pairs left because they were like, I accidentally brought some like really big sizes, like a 4XL. So here's what left: a 4XL, a 5XL, and I had a few kids items in there. So that's what was left. Everything in between sold, plus my other stuff. So if I would have been like, I ain't doing that, I would have missed out on $2,000. So, and especially, I have local wholesalers that come and shop with me. What am I going to tell them? Nah, save your money. You can't come over to the basement and shop with me. So it's like I said, it's focus versus being stubborn. You're absolutely correct there, Eric.
Now, we know that there's different situations, right? With so sometimes musical chairs. Sometimes when we get in situations like, we've talked with Leroy. Obviously, we've missed Leroy, man, like over the past several months.
Wait, question. Is Leroy back?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. we get
confirmation. Leroy's just, he's hit the reset button. Like he literally has said, you know what, here it is. I'm going to just restart. Now, I know in the midst of his restart, he had some other stuff going on. But like sometimes you have to adjust through no fault of your own. It's just circumstances that happen. So Leroy, you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing and how you're adapting? And
first and foremost, I want to say thank you to these guys, these gentlemen here, because they held my seat for me. I had to pay up for it. I had to give super chats and I had to become a member. There was a lot of other things that they made me do. I had to message Tim a couple times a week and just say hello. But besides that, these guys are great friends of mine. I don't want to get soft, but I really they stood up for me the whole time. It was hectic. Moving warehouses was the first main focus. Shutting the eBay store down. I had not listed an item since May 20th. May 20th was the last time I listed an item. And I listed my first item last Tuesday with the guys on the show. And as of right now, I think I have 70 listed. I got 70 items listed. I think I got 10. I'd have to go in and look at the numbers. I don't want to do that while I'm trying to talk to you guys. But I think I got 15 or 10 items sold for about $800 in my pocket, about 6. So all that being said, change, and just trying to do a little bit better than you did the last time. So when Cernoch goes to the flea market, the first time he went, he was probably like a bull in a china closet. And now he's saying, okay, I don't need to bring 19 of my grails.
Yeah.
Because I know I can bring 3 of my grails. I'm going to sell 2 of them. I can sell 3 mediocres and 7 just let them go. I don't know why I come up with names, guys. I'm sorry.
I love it.
but
I love that.
I know that. I mean, he knows now. He doesn't have to. When you first do something, you think, "Oh, I got to do it all at once," and you don't. So now, like the reselling, my starting up. When I start up, guys, it's not the stuff that I had before. Some of it is, I would say, 90% of it is new. The other 10% is stuff that I just would not sell at the flea market or give away and then I threw away 10% of the stuff, but it's changing, adapting. And like Eric said, like, I don't know the exact words Eric said, but he just said it just now. It was like, being stubborn is straight up just how I'm going to say it. I listen to all these guys. Now I say I can't. If you look at some of my model from what I was doing before to what I'm doing now, I've already changed that I can't to I'm gonna try. Mm-hmm. And that's just the attitude. And so I got more rent to pay now. I got a smaller space, but I'm locked here. So I drive 20 miles a day to come one way to go to my warehouse, 20 miles each way. So before I was 13. I'll put it to you this way. I was 2.5 minutes from my warehouse and 3 minutes from the post office. So everything has changed, but the opportunity is, if once you figure it out, the opportunity is never going to go anywhere. You just have to make the opportunity work for you. You know, you have to make it that you just got to make it work for you. I did the flea market when I was going. You guys were saying, like, me and Cernoch were talking about the flea market. I was making a little bit of money helping build my new warehouse because I had to do a lot of the work here. So I was getting some kind of pay there. And then I was doing the flea market a little more than I wanted to, probably 3 to 4 times a month. Normally I do about 2 or 3 times a month. This time I was doing almost 5, you know, because sometimes I'll do like a Tuesday or a Thursday. So it's not just the weekends. So I had to figure it out. Like, okay, how do I have 170 bins. Do I bring all 170 bins and then wash myself out? Or do I bring 45 each time and rotate them so they're not seeing the same thing?
It's not, and you're absolutely correct with that. I see so many, and we joked about it on the Tuesday show about these old guys at the flea market. It's the same stuff. It's like, bro, no one's buying that big jar of marbles for $200. I've seen it for 2 months already.
But it's always about change and adapt as well. Cernoch and I was talking. Sometimes you might set up. I'm not going to tell you Cernoch secrets, but sometimes you might set up tables, and then sometimes you might put it on the top on the floor, or sometimes you might have racks. These people don't realize it's you. They just looking for stuff.
Yeah.
If they know your mouth, they know your vehicle, but they're looking for stuff. Yeah. If you take it and you change it around a little bit, they're thrown off. They're thrown off. I got friends that sell storage bin stuff, and they set it up the same way every week, and they do great. But if they moved it around a little bit,
yeah,
it attracts in a different light.
Hey, here's a little sidebar question for all of us, right? All right, so if you go to a sale, they got clothes on racks, or they have clothes in a box or on the ground in a pile. Where are you headed first?
Oh, the pile. The pile, absolutely. Because listen, with clothing, I ran into so many times. They put the dress shirts and the, no, they think kind of like the thrift store I go to. They think other stuff is worth higher and have no clue about this other stuff. You know?
Yeah. Like Leroy, same question for you would be like, hey, you go and there is a tool box or there's tools arranged on the tabletop. Like where I already know.
I'm kicking the box. I tap the box with my foot to see if there's anything in it. But I do have one question, and then I want to hear from Tim. I want to make sure he's alive. My question is, do we have Professor Cernoch today, or seems a little different? We got a little poll.
Oh, he's full button up today, man.
Well,
it's Coach Cernoch.
I got the button up, and I just threw a camo hat on.
Hey, do you have the little polyester coat shorts on? Like,
no, I have Nike basketball shorts on.
You remember those polyester coat shorts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But, all right, Tim. So where are you going? You going pile or rack?
I mean, I'm a digger. I'm gonna go through the pile and the rack.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? But I mean, look, I've been talking about adjusting and adapting as far as importance in reselling for, I don't know, years now, right? Like I feel like I'm pretty comfortable in saying that I coined the phrase, you know, as far as adjusting and adapting as far as reselling goes. I don't know what it is, but one side of this just doesn't want to come up. It just always leans down. I think it's because of the way I sleep on it. Sorry.
He's adapting right now.
Yeah. Trying to adjust the stash, but I'm just gonna have to adapt. But no, so that is something that like I live by. So for me, it's interesting because I'm obviously doing my own thing, but I'm also kind of doing a little bit of what Leroy and what Cernoch are doing as well. You know, for me, a lot of times it's like life is always happening, right? And so trying to find ways to continue to be able to do what I do and it not affect my life is most important. So that's a lot of adjusting that has to do with that. And then a lot of adjusting has to do with financials. You know, like what's making me the money right now? You know, that doesn't mean just because something's making me the money right now doesn't mean that I'm just going to abandon everything else. Because I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. So, you know, obviously, like I do a lot of live selling. I live sell on, you know, 5 or 6 different districts. I live sell on whatnot, you know, so I'm doing a lot and everything between cards and, you know, glass and anything in between I'm doing. So, you know, that's a big part of what I do, but you always have to be adjusting and when it comes to live selling because you get comfortable and then the people get comfortable and then it gets stale. And it's not necessarily just about like entertainment level. It's like it's kind of like the whole aspect of the flea market. Like sometimes you got to change the way that you set up at your flea market because then people are going to stop by. It's like when Cernoch and I had the antique booth. Like you got to rearrange your antique booth or else people just walk by it and they're like, oh, it's the same stuff in here as before. But even if you like got rid of some stuff and added some stuff and then just changed the way that it looks, it's a smart sales tactic. So being able to do that live selling is super important. And I've reinvented the way that I live sell as far as sports cards go so many times. I can't even begin to tell you. But you know, there's going to be days where you make $100. There's going to be days where you make $800 in a couple of hours. You know, that's just a fact of life. And it's just, I think that the more that you do with reselling, whether it's wholesale, flea market, cross listing, it just the money comes in. Now, as far as like what I do, like what I've been adjusting and adapting to as far as what Leroy has done is I'm in the process of also doing a reset. You know, a lot of that is coming through selling big lots of stuff on Shop Commons. It's letting stuff go at lower prices that have been sitting around for a long time. The way that I have sourced, and you've heard me say this a million times, the way that I source now is so different than the way that I sourced before. So, like, I'm buying so much more quality as opposed to quantity, unless it's something I think that I can lot up. Like, I got this big old bag of wrestlers that I bought when I was at the 127 that just sold yesterday on Shop Commons. Like, that's different. You know, like I saw an opportunity there. I took that opportunity. That's the other thing too, is like you have to be able to jump on opportunities and capitalize on them. And so I'm downsizing to like a large amount. And it's not necessarily downsizing because like I'm slowing down. It's downsizing because I'm speeding up. And I want to be able to buy more better things and not just more things. And that to me has been huge because I'm not one of those people, like I'm a full-time reseller. But I see people that are like, I didn't sell one thing today. It's the first time I didn't sell one thing today in 7,643 days. And I'm like, bro, like I go 2-3 days a week without selling something on eBay. But when I sell 5-6 items on eBay, it's good money. Or I sell 3 items on. I mean, I have sold items on District in multiple marketplaces, eBay, Etsy, Grailed, Depop, and Poshmark, and whatnot. I've sold on all 7 of those platforms within the last 7 days. So it's like, for me, like that's one of the biggest things. But I'm trying to get rid of as much stuff as I possibly can, and a lot of that is due to life circumstances. So as life circumstances change, I have to be able to change my business model. But at the same time, it's about changing your business model without sacrificing the financial aspects of it, because this is what I do for a living. This is how I pay the bills. If I don't sell stuff, I don't make no money. If I don't make no money, I can't pay my bills. That's not an option. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I can be like, hey, T-Mobile, my bad. Listen, I just dropped everything in the eBay store down 40%. I'm gonna have that money. Just don't cut my phone off. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta find ways to make money, whether it's wholesale, flea market, live selling, cross listing, all of those things. And so like it's so difficult. And obviously, like I've been trying to get more into content creation because that is another source of income for me when things are going really well, obviously. And so it's tough to be able to build while rebuilding and still making money. And so like it's a lot to juggle, but at the same time, it keeps me on my toes. Like a lot of times I see people that get comfortable in what they're doing. They get real comfortable and okay, I'm going to buy these $20, $15, $20 items at the thrift store. I'm going to pay $3, $4, $5. I'm going to come home. I'm going to list them all on eBay. And then they're like, what's happening? And it's like, we talk about all the time. Well, you're buying crap. You're only listing on one platform. There's no profit margin there. Like you can't buy $5 items that sell for $20 and with a sell-through rate of 15%. You're not going to get anywhere. And some people are like, oh, well, but I've been doing it for 20 years. So who are you to tell me how to resell? And I'm like, well, we're not trying to tell you how to resell. But if you're going to sit there and complain about it and you keep doing things the same way day after day after day, eventually you're gonna get up and you're gonna go to the gas station and you're gonna try and put gas in a car and there's only gonna be plugs. And you're gonna be like, what happened to the gas? And then you're going to be like, well, buddy, I don't know what you've been doing for the last 20 years, but we don't use gas anymore here. So it's like those are the sort of things that are going to happen. And it's a level of being stubborn. You can't be stubborn. You have to be very open-minded. Like I listen to a lot of different people. I don't do everything that one person does. I like to take things that I learned from all these guys and some of the other podcasts I listen to, like when I listen to like Jimmy and them, they do things completely different a lot of times. But like that's what you got. You got to learn to be able to do different. Don't be scared of different. Don't be scared of new. I think that's a lot of things that to unwrap just now that I babbled on for. That's why I didn't talk for the first portion of this podcast because it's just going to get it all out at once. But yeah, so that's to me, it's a lot to unravel when it comes to adjusting and adapting. But it's so important in the growth of your business, the growth of you as a reseller, because otherwise you're gonna be the person that's at your garage sale with Beanie Babies inside plastic cases, talking to print with eBay printouts. That's gonna be you unless you change your ways. You don't have to change everything, but try something new. Don't be scared.
I'm trying to change too.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on adjusting and adapting.
I'm trying to change. Man, these more pots are heavy. Dang it.
I hate you, Leroy.
More parts.
More pots are heavy when they go on Shop Commons in a box.
Oh man. Yeah. For me, these guys know. I mean, I've mentioned it a couple times in other places, but I'm actually kind of going in a reversal of what some of these guys are doing. Like for me, reselling journey wise, like I went from doing this part-time to doing it full-time. I'm now actually back to part-time, which means it changes things for me as far as the number of hours that I can put in. For those of you guys don't know at this point, I've mentioned it on our show. I've mentioned it on other people's show, but so I've actually taken a position at our church. So I'm now pastoring full time, and that obviously takes up a lot of time and a lot of responsibility. Regardless of what people think, pastors don't just work on Sunday. Like there's more to it than that. So it is one of those things. But so for me, like really having to dial in my business side of things. Like, I mean, guys, I've got a 14 by 24 shed full of stuff. Like, I've got a load of stuff. We've got stuff in our house. Like, so really my goal is, the purge without killing people. I'm just looking to unload stuff at this point, as far as the bulk. Now, these guys I showed today on our show, I actually went and bought some stuff and drove for a while to get there, a couple hours to get to this estate sale, because the buy was too good to pass on. Like, it was too good to pass on. It's some things that I'm not necessarily super comfortable with. I've learned probably more in the first couple hours of this show than on Tuesday than I have ever in life about paperweights. There's actually hidden little codes in here that tell you what these things are. All kinds of cool stuff. Go back and watch Tuesday's show if you need to learn about them. But, so for me, my business model as far as how I do things changes. So Commons has helped with some of that, like being able to unload stuff. This Saturday, I don't know when this episode will drop, but Saturday, Labor Day weekend at my home, I will be blowing out a massive yard sale. The people in this area kind of know me as the biannual yard sale. And so, like, literally, if I'm at other yard sales, they're like, when are you having your sale? So, like, I typically do some crazy blowout pricing, but also looking to pass on some deals to other resellers because, for me, the cool thing is, like, you don't have to be into everything, but if you find a bargain, one of the great things about Commons was, hey, if you find a bargain on a lot of stuff, bring it to the table. Now think about your own business when you come to this too. Like, we're not talking about putting up stuff that, hey, dude, I found this in the trash can behind the Goodwill. It's a little moldy, but I'll just throw it up here. Maybe somebody will buy it. Not that, right? Like, we ain't talking about digging out the trash and saying, like, hey, nobody wants to buy this. We're not talking about like, hey, I picked out every single penny of profit out of this lot that I bought. I'll just throw the rest of it out there. Maybe like somebody will want. Not that, like, not just leftovers, but man, if you put stuff out there that's quality, like, I had. For me, I've been trying to do the same. It's like quality at a decent price. Everything I own is paid for when it comes to my reselling world. Like, if I bought it, it's paid for. The only exception I have right now is I spent like around $200 this past weekend. I've sold $97 out of that lot right now. So, like, that's the only thing I've got in my existence right now that isn't paid for.
So you're like, like minus 100 right now.
Yeah. So for me at this point, I'm of the mindset as like, dude, if you see me show something on one of our shows, hit me up, because I'm telling you, you can get it at a bargain. Now, Dolly may come at a little bit of a cost, but you never know, dude. You never know. Well, these guys have watched me sell stuff online that they're I'll get a message. Why did you sell that for that? It's like, let it go, dude. Let it go.
I got a channel question. Because Eric just brought it up. Once you guys buy something, right? So I don't know if any of us buy our stuff via credit card. All of us, it's cash money. It's money that we had extra that we were able to spend. At what point do you say, okay, I got money into this? Like, because to me, once I spent that money, it's done. Like, so if I spend $200 on an auction, I got nothing into it anymore because I already spent the $200.
Well,
I don't expect to get that back.
Yeah.
We always get it back because that's the business that we're in.
Yeah.
But in my head, I might buy something for $20. I never spent $20. I think the most expensive thing I bought ever was these things, and that was huge for me. And that was $35 a piece. But most of the time, it's nickels on the dollar. And like Tim said, you got to take a gamble. Man, that was a gamble all the way. I had the runs. I don't mean to get nasty on you guys, but I had the runs. I was so nervous that I bought $300 worth of something that I would rather bought $400. I go to the auction and spend $400 or $500. Like, that's not a problem, but it's not one thing. It's 1,000 items.
You gotta take gambles though. Every once in a while, you gotta take gambles.
And when Tim was saying that, like, it makes a lot of sense. But man, I get scared. I'm afraid, man.
Well, and I also think a lot of people do this too, and I think it's a detrimental. and I see a lot of it in the reselling world. Going, well, I paid $20 for this, and so like, and here's the thing: it's like, well, did you pay $20 for that, or did you pay $2 for that? Because if you combine everything that you bought, throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, it's so hard to be like, oh, I paid $20 for them shoes. I gotta get at least 60 for them, and then you're like, when that $40 offer comes, you're like, I paid 20, and it's like, get that out of your mind.
You still make money.
You're still making money, and if that's the only thing, and resellers don't do this, that's the only thing you bought that week or that month, miss me with that. It's like, how much stuff did you buy? Take an overall cost of that, okay? Because here's the thing, I might have gone to Gabe's and bought 10 jackets for $100, okay? But then I go to my thrift shop and got a whole crap load of stuff for $20. Well, it makes those jackets, in my mind, lower price because I've got all this stuff. Now I've got to list it all or wholesale it all or do whatever. But I think a lot of people get stuck where they're like, oh man, I spent this much on it. I've got to get no, let it go. Let it go, because guess what? That other item, like, because I look at it this way. Remember those books I bought? Okay, for $150. I've already made $1,500 on those. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like everything else, like, if you look at everything else that week, you kind of paid for. So you don't have money in those hats or those shirts, or you don't have money because you already made all that money off of just the books you bought. So it's I think it's especially kind of like with me, and I think I'm going to do really good on the shop comments is because I can give the deals without something else puckering. Okay, I can give out the deals. All right, I can sell 80 hats for $80 because guess what? Out of that 80 hats, I probably bought 100 hats and sold 20 of them to make $300, $400, $500. Those 80 hats mean nothing now.
Yeah.
I can pass them on to someone and go, hey, here's a great deal. You make money because guess what? I am never going to get to those hats. Ever. So if you see something on Shop Commons, it's because I know there's value in it, but I will never list those. Okay. The other day I sold 15 leather jackets. I did lots of 5 leather jackets. I'm selling those leather jackets for $10 a piece. Okay. Well, guess what? I'll never list those. I'll never get to listing those. They were in the darkest corner of my basement. Okay. But they have value for someone else. Go ahead. Grab them from me. I don't care because I've already made all that money back on top of it.
There you go. For me, I do, like, I don't know if you guys do this or not, but I do these kind of things. Like for me, like even with what I bought this week, so my mindset and how I tell myself is like, just like Cernoch knows this because we do RA, right? So like when I go to do RA, you know what happens to me? It motivates me to list because I've paid up. Like, because I'm like, dude, this is money that I've laid out here that I've got to recuperate that. Whereas back in the day when I was buying like $100 carloads, I would still be motivated to list, but it wouldn't be like, hey, I got to list all this because I need to get my money back. It'd be like, hey, let me cherry pick these cream items, getting them up, and the rest of it, just throw it in the shed. I'll get to it at some point. Well, now it's come home to roost. I'll just tell you guys, because like I'm going through stuff for like the yard sale, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Now there's still stuff in there that I'm pulling out. Like, look at this. Like, why did I not list this? I don't understand. Yeah. But like, it does motivate me to list. Like, just like this, I spent $200 this past week, but I'm already like, okay, so $97. I've already got that. Like I need to put up some listings. I'm gonna list some of these paperweights, but I'm also my mindset has shifted some to now. Instead of trying to squeeze every drop out of everything, I have the mental attitude of I can go get more. I can go get more. There's more out there. Like I can go get it. It's just a matter of like, okay, so do I just want to keep stocking and piling and, or do I want to like, I'll be honest, like so now I've heard some freaks in the reselling community that say, I love to list. It's my favorite thing. Dude, I don't know if they're in the same universe that I circulate in, but out of us, if we were to pick one thing to do, like some people like to ship, some people like to list. I like to buy. That's the fun side of reselling. Like I like to buy, I like to hunt, I like to dig out the treasure. So for me, like now having other avenues to just say, let's roll it into somebody else who likes to list. Yeah, go for it.
Or they can't find it. And I think a lot.
Yeah, or it's not available.
Well, also think about it. A lot of people don't have good thrift stores.
Yeah.
They might have a Goodwill, and that's it. And they're buying dress shirts for $7.99. Okay.
Yeah, I really thought about making a change for us as a channel. Like this is hot mic right now, guys. Like no one's ever talked about this before. But here's something that I think we probably could all agree on. Like if we were to change it instead of Reseller Information Network, Reseller Shopping Network, just give me your list, send me some cash, I'll go out and buy it for you. Give me a little cut off the top and we'll just ship it to you, right? Like if literally that was my job is let me just go pick for people, like I would be ecstatic. Like obviously the money would have to be right, but yeah.
I mean that. But I think that's what like Shop Commons is kind of like,
Yeah.
Where here's the thing, and be honest, can people go to the thrift store and buy dollar clothing? Most of the time, no, can't.
Not anywhere out here, bro. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But if I can get dollar clothing, I'm picking up everything. Okay, and I've done that before. I've gone on Dollar Clothing Day and left spending $80. That's 80 items that I just bought. Now, am I going to be able to list 80 items on top of the other, 30 items I bought the day before and 40 items the day before? No, but that's where I can pass this stuff on. It's good stuff. I don't like to list. Okay. I hate listing. I literally hate listing. But if I can make a big old box, if I can make a listing with 40 items instead of one item, I'm going to do that all day. Okay. Because I'm still making money on top of that, and it's no, surprise. People are like, oh, well, Chris, how are you doing this? How are you selling $80 for 80 hats? Because I bought it so cheap. And I think that's where a lot of people can't do that. And that's where they're on the buying end going, well, hey, I'll buy $2 hats from you all day.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll let them fly.
Tim, are you in the listing camp or would you rather be in the shopping camp?
I don't have a choice. I gotta make money, so I'm listening. I mean, listen. To go back on the double down on adjusting and adapting. I've gotten so much better too at listing, actually, because trying to find that balance as a live seller and listing is very difficult. But I've gotten really good at that, like what I'm live selling and what I'm listing, and just listing it right away. And so, because like when I came back from 127, I was like, I spent a lot of money, man. I was on the road for 2 weeks, and I wasn't home. I wasn't doing no live sales, nothing. I was. The bills didn't care though. My wife didn't care. She needed the money, so like. I drafted everything that I bought at 127 before I even left from 127.
Yeah.
And so, like, by the time I got back from 127, I had sold like I had probably like 40 sales or so across the, like my eBay and some other stuff. So like I was down to like 700 listings, and I'm generally right around that mark, like 700. I think the most I've ever had was like 1100 maybe. But I've also been taking a lot of stuff down, and like this thing is not sold in 2 years. It's not selling. What are you doing? Like sometimes I gotta tell myself that. Like I used to buy. I've always bought good stuff, but I was also like a lot of the time like, man, it's $1, right? Yeah, why not? And then you list it, and it sits in a box, and you forget about it, and then like you're like, this is just taking up space. Why is it even here? Like I'm really trying to. I don't know if you guys have ever saw the McDonald's movie with Michael Keaton, where they like mapped out like how to like do the food, like the back end of the restaurant.
Line. Yeah,
like that's kind of how I'm approaching everything right now. Like I want things to just. I'm trying to work smarter, not harder, because I work my ass off and I do a lot. I got my hand in a lot of. What's the saying? Is it pots, kitchens? What do you have your hand in a lot of? Jars.
One hand in the bush, the other in the
No,
pot.
man. You got your hands on when you're doing so many things, you got your hands on a lot of what?
Idle hands.
No.
Oh, I got it. Edward Scissorhands.
I hate you. I got my hand in a lot of cookie jars. Okay. So like I'm trying to
Wait, you got caught putting your hand in the cookie jar?
No, I didn't, because I'm in and out. I'm trying to be quick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You on your hand, putting it in the cookie jar, and
What?
you lick your fingers.
No.
Yeah.
That got me sidetracked. What was the question?
Something about putting your hands in pots or something.
No.
Like,
I'm trying to work smarter, not harder, right?
yeah.
Okay, that's what it comes down to. And
You're like Doc Ock, huh? Yeah.
I like to buy, right? I don't source a lot, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't source a lot. I don't source a lot at all. Like I haven't been to the thrift store in, I don't know, weeks, months, maybe.
You don't put sauce on your cookies in the jar?
No.
There's
But like, that's the other thing too. You gotta be disciplined, man. You gotta be disciplined, because listen, I'm trying to get rid of crap and sell good stuff. I don't need to go buy more things. I got to get rid of the crap before I buy more things, because I want to make it to the point where, like, unless it's something that is like bubble mailer or 8x6x4, 6x6x6, if it's not that size and it's not more than $20, I don't want it in my house. I don't want it in my face. I want it gone. Because like for me, it's just you get around all this stuff and all this crap, and we're resellers. Everybody got crap everywhere. They don't care what nobody says. You could be Ginger Marvin. They still got crap somewhere that they're not showing you. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be the most organized person in the world, and you still got crap in your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, your basement, your shed. If you say that you don't, you're a liar, and I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to be the first reseller that doesn't have no crap nowhere. I want my reselling to be like, damn, this is like a museum up in here. Like, you're going to have to take your shoes off.
Picker would be going lean at your house.
Yeah, you're going to have to take your shoes off to get into my reselling world, okay? There's going to be plastic on the couch in my reselling world. Like, a lot of y'all probably don't know about that. I grew up around a lot of foreign people, and everybody had plastic on their couches. They were there, but you couldn't sit on them. Leroy, you know about that, right?
Why they gotta be foreign?
Because that's what I grew up with.
My mom was black. She wasn't foreign.
Okay, yes, okay. Let's just say non-whites. Okay.
And you see,
but you know, Leroy, you know the couch I'm talking about.
You sit on that couch, and when you first sit on it, it feels weird Then the couch sticks to your back when you're trying to get up. And
you don't want to be wearing them shorts sitting on the plastic couch.
Then after you get off the couch, you're tripping on the runner because they got a runner all over across the runner.
Oh, the plastic runners throughout the house.
If I knew what
It had like the little spikes on the bottom of it, and that it would like sit into the rug so it wouldn't move. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, that's how I'm trying to have my reselling. Like, I want my reselling to be clean, efficient, high volume, high dollar, no sweat, less work, more money. It sounds crazy, I know, right? But that's what I'm looking for.
No see-through.
Hey, once I go to my next estate sale, I'll be looking for the plastic couch.
That's
where I'm at. You're gonna go where the foreigners are. What Tim says.
He grew up around a lot of plastic couch people.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, international. I was very well-rounded international, friends when I was growing up. To this day, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were like the United Nations running around on BMXs and skateboards. You know what I'm saying?
Taking your shoes off.
Eric, you've seen the plastic covers, right?
Yeah, my granddad just had the rule of no hats in the house. You didn't wear your shoes or your hat in the house.
So how about the runner? You didn't see the runner on the rug with the plastic runner?
Oh, dude, I've seen all that stuff, man.
Yeah, somebody kicks it up on one end, and then at nighttime you go to the bathroom, you step on the spikes. Like,
bro, some of those things too, man. You try to roll it up, you'd be like getting punctured in your hand.
The thing is now, if you could find those covers in a estate sale, those covers are worth money.
Really?
Yes, I've looked them up before. Yep.
Leroy's gonna go back to the neighborhoods. Hey, I'm looking for the plastic.
Listen, I've been a lot of my family. The living room was just for show.
It's museum quality.
It was just for show.
Yeah.
You don't sit there. You don't do nothing. You don't. The living room was not for living. It was.
people like my family. Honestly, the living room was for grown folks. Like, as a kid, you didn't hang out in there, man. Like you might be on the drive-by passing through, but like that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Separate sitting. My grandparents had a sitting room, and that's what that was. It was like straight just museum quality.
Well, we'll have another show, guys, about I think we should have another show about growing up and the old time stuff. One day I'm going to tell these guys we want to have a show because we're getting excited, but Tim has to go.
The memory. Down memory lane. We'll take you down memory lane. Hey, we do appreciate all you guys for being here. Don't forget to check us out. You can follow every one of us on district.net. We do sell in various places. One-stop shop, Commons Marketplace. Leroy has a full line of Mr. Sparkies available from now until late September. So make sure you check that out. And if you're not sure about that contest, hit him up on Instagram. Look at the details. There's also a link down below in the chat. You can also check out each and every one of these guys on Tuesdays. We're here from 9 to 12. Encourage you to stop in and share with us. Don't forget to leave comments. Hey, if you got ideas, suggestions for future shows, or if you want to share about today's topic and say, hey, these are ways that I've adapted in my business, we're always down to hear. None of us claim to have it all exactly right. We're still working and learning and adjusting and adapting on the daily. So we do. I thank you guys for being here. I'll let these guys go around the horn and say the goodbyes.
I feel good to be back, guys. I feel good to cut Tim off a couple of times an episode. I haven't been able to do that for months. I appreciate you, brother. It's all out of love. I don't try to give you a hard time. I like you and I know I can. I'm afraid Cernoch might chase me with those red shorts, so I don't mess with Cernoch. And Eric's bigger than me. So, but no, it's so nice to be back. I feel good. I don't know if you guys do see a different energy. I feel like there's a different energy. And just get those listings in, guys, and let's go.
Cernoch.
Hey, like I said, it's about adapting, overcoming, It's your business. So it's like, hey, do what you think is best for your business. And that's what, Leroy's done, Tim's done, Eric's done, and I've done, So just keep it up. Hope you learned some stuff today. And Leroy, I like that idea about the old school show. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about weird stuff that we used to do.
It doesn't even have to be talk about reselling. It could just be like, I mean, we were in it with the rug.
Right?
And,
we could have gone a full hour.
Hey, Tim, are you talking about putting all your eggs in one basket? Was that
No. That's not what I'm talking about.
The cookie jar is better than one?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure somebody will figure out what it is. There's a saying that has to do with hands when you're doing a lot of things. You got your hands on, you're doing, what it is.
Yeah, your hands on what?
I don't know. I don't remember what the saying is, man. It's like too many. It's like I got my hands.
Like nooks and crannies?
It's something along those lines. It's like a nook and cranny sort of thing.
I know there's like idle hands saying.
No, I know it. I know all of those. Yeah. This is the one that is just slipping off of my tongue.
Oh, they have their hands in many pots.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Trying to describe someone who is involved in many things, hobbies, and aspects of business. So they have their hands in many pots.
Well, how about a guy that wears many hats?
I am a guy who wears too many hats. I have all of my hats on top of all of the pots with the steamer. That's
kind of like a lot of irons in the fire.
Cookie jars.
Yes, I got a lot of irons in the fire.
If it's a big job, many hands make light work. But
and you have fingers in many pies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys as always for joining us. We appreciate all the love and all the support. Please make sure you guys are checking out all the links in the description below. One-stop shop. Follow our profiles on districts so you can see when we're dropping new lots. Don't forget to check out Mr. Spanky in the one-stop shop. Get your Mr. Spanky delivered to you, designed, and entered into the contest. A portion of those proceeds will be going to St. Jude's, something that we are all very excited about. And shout out to Leroy for putting that together. Shout out to all the members. At some point during this, you'll see like a thing that Eric's going to do. Maybe I'll record one for him one time and then we'll just play it for the future. But make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, comment. Please comment. We love the comments and we love you guys and you people. But most importantly, don't forget to tell a friend about RIN Reseller Information Network.